I'm that shy person, very shy. Whenever me and my wife first met, I rode my bike to her house and I would hide my face in a freaking pillow because I was just shy. You know what I mean? And it's the weirdest thing.
The only things that I only hold back on talking about are things that I'm still currently going through. And that's only because I'm not healed from those things.
Okay.
Because I truly feel that I shouldn't talk about things that I'm not healed from.
With me, I'll say this, and I truly believe this. When I drink, it's every single time I've ever drank after going to the Home of Grace. It's a faith-based Christian program. Every single time I've drank, I woke up that morning and said, today I'm drinking.
You know, man, like drinking, that whole addiction for me, because I truly decided to quit drinking in like 2010, but it took me till 2016, 2017 to really completely like, I don't need this shit.
Yeah.
Like it's bad for me, like I make bad decisions on this. Everything bad that has happened to me or negative was because of drinking.
And another thing we always talk about is just 1% better. Don't focus on being perfect. He always tells, don't focus on being perfect. Just be 1% better today. And then in 365, you could be 365% better, dude.
I am walking through the hardest season of my life right now. I did all the things and I helped all the people and I was super successful, but behind closed doors, I was not okay.
All right. Well, Father,
can we pray us up?
Yeah. Father, thank you for this morning. God, we just want to thank you for this podcast and this platform to be able to speak and oh man, I'm drawing a blank. God, thank you for this day. God, we love you and we give you all the glory for all the conversations that we're going to have today. I ask that you ease any anxieties or thoughts that may not be of you throughout this podcast, and I pray that our conversations are a reflection of you, Father. Thank you for this moment, and I pray that we're a light to many people today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Dude, I'm so excited to have you both here. Like all week long, since we linked up about this, like the excitement and the love that I feel, and this song Waymaker's been like heavily on me, and I think I don't know what it is. It's your energy, her energy, like just the love and excitement that I feel. Even last night, I couldn't sleep.
Wow.
Like I probably woke up 10, 12 times, just like full of gratitude and excitement for this right here. And I love it. So today, oh my God, I feel
nervous. Mo's never nervous.
Like starstruck though, bro, because like I'm in the presence of y'all two, you know.
Oh gosh.
This is really
about
cool.
to start sweating and everything, you know. Nervous, and my hairline's going back these days, so like it's gonna be shining like a Mr. Clean.
I'm gonna get you some little oil. What's the
little makeup, huh?
That's so funny. It's full circle moment. That's what I told Mo and Chase this morning. Is that I live for moments like this. Those full circle moments when you all of a sudden you just see the way that God works. You know, when I'm like, if I would have known back in high school, we went to high school together, or if somebody would have told me so many years ago when you and I met in real estate, if someone would have told me when you and I were recording with Jenny Palm and she fell and broke her wrist, that so many years later.
Shout out to Jenny.
Jenny, we love
Oh man, she broke her wrist.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's a story we'll do.
Oh,
that's
poor
crazy.
Jenny. Oh.
So but if those moments of like, if someone would have said that you'd be sitting here today, you know, doing a podcast episode,
Oh,
like
man.
I would have
What?
been like, no way. You know, like those moments where it's just like, man, God's so cool. Yeah.
It's weird because look, I'm that shy person, very shy. Whenever me and my wife first met, I rode my bike to her house and I would hide my face in a freaking pillow because I was just shy. You know what I mean? And it's the weirdest thing. And I'm still shy, but just, I don't know. It's weird that I'm not shy in a sense, you know, because I'll talk to anybody in the store. Hey, how you doing? You know, and just love, you know, no matter who it is, because I don't know. I think everybody has a book, a story behind them. You know, it's just sometimes people think that their story is not valid enough to share it. You know what I mean? Because I think in a sense, like probably they don't feel good enough or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just life experience takes people to different places, I guess. I don't know how to say it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate with that, man. Just over the last 10 years, for where I was 10 years ago till now, I felt shame. I felt not worthy. I felt embarrassed. I mean, all those things, man, that just are all lies that we replay in our head and tell ourselves. And yeah, but it wasn't until recently, whenever I did your podcast, where I opened up about some things that I've never opened up, about publicly. And yeah, man, it's like a full circle moment, like Pam said, with me with that. I'm kind of getting lost where I'm going with it, but
Chase,
I've dealt with that wholeheartedly, man, like head on.
I appreciate you coming out about that on the podcast too, man. I think it's impacted a lot of people, and Pam is one of them, because Pam kind of put us in a group and in a little group
that meant
message,
so
and
much,
man,
man,
like sent that. Oh God, that 6-minute mini podcast, like she called it,
Yeah.
and it was just amazing. It was, I don't know, the level of gratitude I had for Chase and for her even sharing that, because some people won't come out and say, man, I love that episode. That was so good, but people that, that are, I don't know
To let you know, they won't let you know that how much it impacted them. But again, that also comes from a place of fear, shame, and things like that when you're going through stuff. And I know, because I was once that person, right? I was once that person who was having all of those feelings and struggling. And there were people who I was in from a distance
watching,
and just listening to them. But I didn't have the courage to say, I'm watching you.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of creepy. Hey, I'm watching you. But I was, right? And so that's what that came from. It's just like, and I have my whole journey and story that I very openly share. But at the same time, I'm still building that, right? I'm still going through things in life that I know that I am continuing to add to that story and that journey. And so when y'all did that podcast, for those who are kind of wondering what they're talking about, is that y'all shared, and I listened to it, and it just so happened to be that I didn't even see it. I didn't see it on social media. I found out about it because my business partner, Mandy, because I was going through some things, and she said, Pam, did you listen to Mo and Chase's, she's like, do you know that? I was like, yeah. I was like, I actually podcasted with Mo before. And she said, Dad, did you listen to their podcast episode? And I was like, no. She said, I'm going to send it to you. She said, listen to it. And of course I did. And I was in tears. And I immediately, I pulled up, because I was going to her house that day. And so I pulled up in her driveway. I was like, I'm sitting in my car for a few minutes before I come in. So I literally sat in my car and was just like I had to tell y'all how much that impacted me, because I listen to so many podcasts with all of these major celebrities, right? And granted, all of that stuff is impactful, listening to all of those people who are big empowerment speakers, but to hear it from someone who is local here, and just to know and that I'm not alone here in my hometown, from people that that I know and that I respect and that I look up to, to see y'all sharing your stories and your journey and the things, the way that God's impacted your life. It hits different than hearing it from this big name person, right? It just hits different.
Yeah.
So, and I just had to send y'all that message.
Thank you, Pam.
Commending y'all for sharing, because I know how hard that is. It takes so much courage, and to be so vulnerable to just say those things and to be open. But when you do, and you see and you know the people that you're impacting, because that was my other thing. It's I know, because I've shared, and I know that not everyone does, because I also was once that person who didn't let those people know how much they were impacting me by opening up. So I had to let y'all know. But when you hear it and you know the impact that you're making, it makes it a little bit easier to share too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What was that moment that you you struggled with, like you said, coming out and saying parts of your testimony or whatnot? What was that breakthrough moment for you, where you just weren't afraid to share it anymore? Or do you still have reservations on sharing at times? But
the only thing,
because you seem so what you want to know, I'm ready. Let's roll.
Tell you,
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
The only things that I only hold back on talking about are things that I'm still currently going through. And that's only because I'm not healed from those things.
Okay.
Because I truly feel that I shouldn't talk about things that I'm not healed from.
That's good.
Yeah, we
So
said
it's
that-
just
yeah,
more so
that
things that
with us.
I'm really working through right now, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
there's
aren't we all?
That's what I told y'all. I'm like in every, like I have told people, and I'm very open. Like I am walking through the hardest season of my life
Wow.
right now.
Wow.
You know, but I can say that with a smile on my face because it's so different.
How you handle it and everything, right?
Yeah.
It's just like you're coming from a level of understanding almost, but in another way, like you're still sorting the shit out in a sense, right?
Mo, it's a level of faith that I've never experienced in my life. It's this knowing that I may not understand and I don't have to understand. And y'all talk about that too, because man, that's come up so much in the last few weeks of the whole not understanding thing. But I don't understand, but I just know that it's all for the good. And I know that God is working on something that I'll know at some point. It'll all make sense one day, but I don't have to know right now. I just have to trust, right?
I love that because
That's beautiful.
it's
Yeah, that's
it's-
good.
For us, it's we have to take that step that He provides for us, and then we don't know the next step because He hadn't like that lit that up yet, you know. And then He lights that up, and we just go, and we're on that path that we're supposed to be on. And I think on those paths, it's just everything works out like it's supposed to. You're like, bro, like how is this happening? Oh my God, like I can't believe this, you know. And it just all kind of doors just keep opening up, and you're like opportunities and just
Yeah.
blessings on top of blessings. You're like, bro, like my life is wow, you know, like it's just incredible.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps. I'm like, I feel full of gratitude right now, just being with you too. Truly.
Same here.
But I know
This
I've
is so
seen it,
awesome.
right? It makes it so much easier to trust, and we should just trust anyway, right? But when you can say like, you know, I know you've seen it in your life. I know you've seen it in your life. Like I can tell you countless times, literally all the way back to, I can go as far back as to in my elementary, junior high days. Oh gosh, no, I could even go back into my childhood and tell you when I know that God had His hand in my life. I
so
could,
awesome.
you know, and just tell you like the moments of when now that I can look back and I'm like, wow.
You was
Like,
protected.
I was protected, or just when I can look back and say, had that not happened, had that, what I thought in that moment was a bad thing, not happen, all these wonderful things wouldn't have happened because of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's that look back. And that's another thing that like I live for. You know, they have that saying that it says like, don't look back in the rearview mirror. That's not where you're going. And I'm like, that rearview mirror is
That's
what
everything.
pushes me forward.
Yeah.
Like that's everything.
That's where you measure your growth, right?
Yeah, or just to be able those reminders of, you know, when you're in those moments, like I'm in right now, and you're like, God, like this is so hard. Help me with like why and all of the things, and then I can just look back and say, He did it then, He's gonna do it again.
And it's not always on your timing, it's on His timing.
Correct.
You know? And sometimes it's just that faith and knowing that it's coming.
Yeah.
So Chase, a while ago Pam mentioned something about just like after sharing a little bit about, I guess, your story and stuff like that, like you just feel better.
Yeah.
How have you been feeling since recording that podcast?
I've been on fire, man.
Yeah,
I've
come
been
on, man.
So just grateful. It's I've gotten messages from so many people, phone calls in private, people stopping us in public, Hillary and I, or if I'm by myself, just like, hey man, thank you. And I know exactly what they're talking about. And it's a good, overwhelming feeling. It's like, okay, because for so long, like I was saying earlier, I was trapped by the mindset of your story's not that good. It's not worthy. Whatever, you know, you're just whatever. And to actually finally get it out there and give God the glory for it is just, oh my gosh, man. It's been so awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It really has, man. It's been a really good feeling.
I love to hear that, bro. And I love to be
Yeah.
a part of that with you because
If it wasn't for you getting that out of it might have been another 10 years before I spoke about anything.
really,
Yeah, and it's cool, man, because I mean, I want to be an open book, man, but it's just tough. You know, it's been tough on me, but I got one huge layer back now. So
yeah. You know, man, like drinking, that whole addiction for me, because I truly decided to quit drinking in like 2010, but it took me till 2016, 2017 to really completely like, I don't need this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's bad for me. Like I make bad decisions on this. Everything bad that has happened to me or negative was because of drinking.
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta quit this. This is
Yeah.
stupid. Like, what's the point? I feel like crap the next day, you know. And the last time I did drink was 2021. And I got drunk with my brother, and dude, like 2 drinks in, I felt crazy anxiety, and I hated that feeling, man. I was like, dude, this is not for me. This is like my body saying, don't do this, bro. Like, what are you doing? You know.
Well, we talked about that yesterday, how it's called spirits. And I think my personal belief is that, liquor and spirits or wine and spirits, whatever, you go in the grocery store, I really feel in my heart that it's a real spirit. You're inviting in, demonic spirits. I'm not saying that everyone that drinks has that, but I'm wired that way where it completely changes me. It changes everything about me. Everything. Anything good you see in me, it's not there when I'm drinking.
Yep.
And it's
Especially
weird.
once I get past that point after a drink or two. I don't know how to stop. So,
Man, my wife used to tell me that all the time, that you are not you whenever you drink. I'm like,
yeah.
what do you mean?
I
I'm
think
the same
everyone
person.
hears that.
You know? And I was completely against it. I was like, how do I change? I don't change anything. Like, what are you talking about? I wasn't able to see it back then, but now I know, completely different person. Just I don't know. I feel like an arrogant dickhead sometimes from alcohol. I don't know why, but I don't know. I just remember.
I'm just very loud and obnoxious, man.
Yeah.
It was me. And then mine took a turn where it went from me being like the loud and obnoxious, and I would get the, you're so fun when you're drunk. You're so fun. And I'm like, but then I would hear it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not funny, y'all. And they're like, no, you were so funny. I'm like, that's not funny. Stop telling me. I don't want to know. I was that
so much.
blackout raging alcoholic. And that's when it was like, this has got to stop. And that went on for years before.
Would you drink by yourself?
No. Well, I say that. In my single days, I did. I would drink alone.
And I asked because I would just go sit somewhere and drink by myself.
No, in my single days, I did. Yeah. In my single days, I did. But for the most part, like when it got really, really bad, like it was that, because like you said, like I didn't stop. There was no, when I drank, because I didn't drink often, but when I did, I was on a mission. Like I was drinking with the mission and the end goal of getting drunk. And I did everything was drank out of a straw, which I know makes it even worse, right? So, and I was a power drinker.
Yeah.
And I drank vodka with water and with the squeeze Kool-Aid stuff. And I drank it like it was water. And I would put them down and put them down. And before you knew it, I went from 0 to 100. I was not coherent and raging in front of anyone and everyone. It didn't matter who I was in front of. And I'd wake up the next day and literally not remember anything.
Yeah.
Like nothing. People would, and I'm like, just don't tell me because I really don't want to know.
Pam, it's so wild. I couldn't even imagine you being a drinker like that. Like nothing.
I can't imagine.
Because
it
as long as I've known you, you was like always together. You know what I mean? And like even though you didn't, maybe you didn't feel together, but you portrayed that image like you was on. You're just on fire. You had it together. Like I remember working deals with you in real estate. Like you was on top of it all the time, just getting it. You know what I mean? And like never lagging on anything. Like updating information, everything. It was
I
just.
was hiding behind perfectionism.
You were drinking back then?
Man, I can relate.
Really?
God.
It's hiding behind perfectionism. I did all the things and I helped all the people and I was super successful but behind closed doors, I was not okay. I really wasn't. And I think, Chase, like, so you asked me earlier, like, what it was, like, what was that defining moment of, when I just, like, to be able to open up and to talk about these things and to be just open was being saved, because I never would have talked about those things because of the shame, the fear, the guilt, honestly, and I've said it before, like I said it in my keynote, like I hated myself. I hated myself in those moments, and I hated myself even more so when I whenever I was healing, right? When I finally had that mirror moment in 2022 when I was like, what are you doing? And that moment for me, and I'll talk about it on the podcast, that moment for me in my drinking phase of when I finally was like, okay, like enough's enough and you got to stop, was the day that because I have my kids 7 and 7
Okay.
with my ex-husband, and we've been doing that for a long time since, it's been almost 10 years. And so I never drank around my kids. I never drank when I had my children during those 7 days. It was like this on-off thing, and it was like a switch, right?
Wow.
Like I just did
Yeah.
it. I didn't go anywhere when I had them.
It's crazy that you was able
And
to
I
do
didn't
that.
drink.
That is phenomenal. Because I would have been a closet drinker probably, Like they went to bed, chugging.
I didn't. And that's what's crazy. And that's why some people are like, oh, you weren't an alcoholic. And I'm
Yes.
like, maybe I wasn't textbook alcoholic. Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't a textbook alcoholic. However, the way that I would drink when I drank and the way
Yes.
that I behaved was not normal, period. That's not normal. Like, I don't even know if how do you classify normal when it comes to drinking? I don't know, but it wasn't okay. In my book, that's not okay. In my book, I had a problem. But no matter whatever definition, word you want to put to it, I had a problem. Because for me to drink in the way that I did, where I was drinking with a mission to get the way that I did, and that it happened over and over and over and every single time. Like it
Yes.
wasn't it was every time.
How long did you do that for, Pam?
Since that started, the blacking out and raging started in 2018. And that went on until 2024 is when I officially quit drinking. So I'm 18 months sober now.
Dang, so that's still fresh, kind of.
Yeah, but I had really backed off for about a year and a half before that, where when I did drink, it was literally 1 or 2 because I was terrified.
Yeah.
Because, let me step back again. So that was in 2022, in August of 2022, my wake up moment was the day that I did pick up my children and drove home with them completely out of my mind. And I called my husband on the way home, and he knew immediately. He was like, you've been drinking. And I was like, no, I'm fine, whatever. And he was angry, rightfully mad. And he was like, just get home and please be careful. And then, of course, my kids are listening in the backseat because I have them on speakerphone. And they're scared at this point. They're like, Mom, are you okay to drive? And then, of course, me and my drunken stupor scolded them and fussed at them, as opposed to consoling them and being their mom is what I should have been doing, right? And I wasn't. And so I got home, and then my whole drunken rage happened in front of my children. And that was the first time my children ever saw my husband and I argue. Like it was ugly. It was bad. And I said things in front of my children that I can never ever take back. There are things that I probably said in front of my kids that I still to this day don't know, and I don't want to know what I said,
Yes,
but
man.
that was the moment. Like that was the moment for me that next day when I was like, that is not okay, and enough is enough. And so it was from that moment that I had really just kind of cut back on drinking, and and that was when I was just like, I'm gonna change everything that I can. I'm gonna start working on myself, and started doing all the things of reading and journaling and listening to the personal development podcast and all of the things, and just really literally changed my life. And then in the following year in September is when I went to the LO Worship Sister Conference, which I'm going again next month.
Yeah.
That's where I was
In
saved.
September, right? Yeah.
First
it's
weekend in
coming up, yeah.
September. And like God met me there that weekend
Awesome.
at that conference.
Yes.
That is when I surrendered my life to Christ. And then a year later is when I gave my first keynote / it was really and truthfully my personal testimony, where I laid it all out and said all the things in a keynote speech at Empower Her Life in Homa. A year later after that. And then that was in August of last year. And then in September, when I went back to the conference, I was baptized there. So yeah,
Wow. That's
that was
beautiful,
my
Pam.
moment. It was when I was saved, when I was like, I don't have to be fearful of sharing my story or telling my testimony, because I have surrendered my life to Christ, and there's no fear. There's no fear. There's nothing for me to be ashamed about. There's nothing for me to have any guilt or anything, because I have surrendered my life to Christ, and
Yeah, I love that you're there so early on in your awareness and becoming saved. Because I was saved. I started my journey back in 2014, trying to get sober, and one of the biggest problems that I had was if I slipped, it was like the end of the world for me. I didn't. I thought being sober was being perfect. You had to be perfect. Even when I first came into being saved, like being a Christian, I thought Christianity was perfect. So anytime I messed up, I was just uneducated on it. I didn't know any better, and so I would just live in this funk. That's the funk that I'm kind of coming out of now, currently.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that you're able to be here this early on in your sobriety. That's strong. Just like instantly knowing that you can go out and share your story and not live in like this dark thoughts or like I did. Like because of that podcast that I did with Mo just a few weeks ago, I'm more comfortable talking about these things out loud. I wanted to forget about it, or I don't know, I was just being ashamed. But I think that's so awesome that you're here already. That's so powerful. That's so awesome that you're there, because it's taken me, but it's taken me 2014. Think about that. That's 11 years of all these crazy thoughts. And I go through seasons where I was like so on in my walk, but as soon as I slipped, I thought it was just like, that was it. That was the end of the world. I didn't know how to bounce back from that.
It's hard to,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's hard to get back.
And yeah, I just
Instead of
been
like,
flooded with lies in my head, in my own head, If I'd have been talking about recovering out loud, years ago, and I know everybody's path's different.
But also, like she said earlier too, if that wound is still open, it's really probably
True.
not best to really talk about too.
True.
To that wound is starting
To
to
a certain
close
extent,
up,
right? Yeah.
I came back from this shit.
Yeah, but Chase, so let me ask you this though. So you're saying that it was, you're committing me, and thank you, I appreciate that. But let me ask you something. So why now? Why do you think now you're able to, whether you feel that you've, fully surrendered or you're surrendering more, or being able to talk about it, like what, and because I think I know what it is, but why do you think, because I think it's the same for me, just in a different aspect, right? But why, for me at this age and this time, like right now, that I was able to surrender my life to God and just really I'm all in, right? Like why do you think that is?
Man, that's a really good question. I don't know.
Because you said something the other day, you posted something on Facebook, right? That video, and you said that God is so good and that you're so grateful, and there's so many things that are happening in your life right now.
Yeah.
But I think it's that look back that I don't know if we got that on recording or not, that we were talking before, but that look back of being able to see that all of the times in your life, like even when you were struggling, the things that God was doing and how he was moving in your life. And maybe that's why you're here, sitting here now, is because you have all those moments to look back on.
Yeah.
And so now you can really see, having those moments just to look back on. Because that's what it is for me anyway. Okay. Like, that's why I was able to like really just go all in. It's just like, when I said that I surrendered my life to Christ, I was like, that moment of realizing that even though I'm not going to say that I never believed in God, because I always did, but there were many times in my life where I was angry with God, or I questioned things.
Yeah.
Again, just out of not understanding, right? Not knowing what's in here. And in that moment of surrender, I realized all of the times when I didn't think God was there, and he was there the whole time.
The whole time, yeah.
That he was there the whole time. And just seeing that, like, God was with you, and every single time that you thought he wasn't, every time that you questioned him, every time you said you believed, or you said that you prayed and you or weren't praying, or all the things, like he was always there,
Yeah. And I guess I say, I don't know. That's awesome, Pam. I'm saying I don't know because it's like I'm kind of on the spot, and I'm so happy you asked me that. Thank you. But I think I finally got past that fear. I've been living in this fear of saying things out loud, like, what's people going to think? Am I still going to get booked for a wedding? Am I still going to keep my position at trap? Like, this is hard for me to say this. Like, this is really my thoughts. Like, if I start talking about my recovery, it's like, am I opening up something for somebody to avoid hiring me or keeping me around? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah,
and like that is
valid.
the deep, that's the deep lies though of the enemy. And I'm recognizing that now. And so once I was able to say some things out loud a few weeks ago on Mo's podcast, I'm like, wow, it's not so bad. Like, and so I don't know. I got past a huge fear, a fear of all the bad, right? But it was all the good. It was all for the good.
Yeah.
Because people look at that and they're like, wow, I didn't know he was going through that.
Yeah.
What an inspiration, man. God,
Yeah.
to overcome that. And
I mean, Mo, like I said on the podcast, you've been asking me for 2 years to do this podcast, and I knew that stuff was going to come up, and I was just deathly afraid of talking about it because it's like I want to forget about it, you know?
Yeah,
but
that's funny
I'm
to say
learning now that it's good not to forget about it because I can measure how far I've come. Like my friend, my buddy Andy Chasson, we have these amazing long conversations, and we always talk about the next wave. We're riding on the wave right now, but when it finally hits the shore and that white cap falls over, how are you going to respond to it? And so I can see now that I'm riding the waves longer and longer. I'm getting further and further out, away from the bad. And that's one thing that, hey, bro, you on the wave today? Like, we check on each other every day, just about every day, 5 or 6 times a week for sure. Where you at? And another thing we always talk about is just 1% better. Don't focus on being perfect. He always tells, don't focus on being perfect. Just be 1% better today. And then in 365, you can be 365% better, dude. That's it. Just focus on 1%, dude. Just a little thing different. And I started putting that into effect in my life with parenting, with patience, with gratitude, with everything, my faith, with my sobriety, being nicer to myself. Because I'm nice to everybody, but I am so hard on myself.
Oh, yeah.
I am, bro, I beat myself up. My wife Hillary just looked at me like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you look in the mirror and talk about yourself like that? That's crazy that I'm saying that right now. Like, I'll be getting ready and I'm like, I'll just, start saying ugly things about myself. And that's lies, man.
Yeah.
But that's just years of constant, the hamster wheel, just rolling, those comments just telling yourself that.
reframe it, Chase.
Yeah.
Every time it happens, bro, just change it to that positive.
And I'm getting so much better, with that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have control. You will have control over your thoughts and your emotions and your actions. I went to therapy yesterday, and so we did some deep
How's
work.
therapy? Yeah, I've never done like therapy or a life coach or anything like that. How is that? What's that look like?
It helps so much. So this is how I feel about therapy, is that, and not because people are like, oh, like I talked to somebody yesterday. I was like, I just left therapy, and I was going to therapy, and she's like, oh, I hope everything's okay. And I'm like, it's not about going to therapy because something's wrong. A lot of people associate that, counseling or therapy, that something's wrong. Everybody in life, like, we have all of these thoughts, right? Things that come up and that we think about, or just things that are going on in life.
Yeah.
And what happens is that they're just thoughts. And they're just in your head. And like you said, they're just circling and circling and circling. And then you never really settle those thoughts or come to a conclusion on or get clarity on, or whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden something else happens. And then there's more thoughts. And then another day, and then something else happens. And then so there's just like all of these thoughts, and they're just like, this is how I could see them in my head, like thoughts. And until you sit down with somebody and speak them out loud, just speaking them out loud in itself is a release, right? It just saying them to someone, but to have someone to ask you the questions that you need to be asked to make you go, okay, like that.
To make you think.
To make you think,
Yeah.
or
Kinda
just
like you just did to me.
help you to get clarity, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I started going, and it took me a really long time to go back to counseling because
Oh,
was,
you went for a while and then
and
stopped?
I stopped
Okay.
because there was just someone specific that I was looking for. And I was just like, again, for me, I'm just like, God's going to align me with the right person in the right place at the right time. And that's exactly what happened. This random phone call from someone that I hadn't spoken to in a long time. And they were like, I'm just leaving therapy. I'm like, really? Who are you talking to? And when they told me, and I was like, you just described the person that I've been waiting for. Please tell me who it is.
Oh, wow.
Like just that one of those moments. And that's just how I like to try and live my life now. It's just like God's gonna make a way.
Yeah.
A way maker. And
Waymaker. Yeah.
yeah, he makes a way. So, but yeah, so it's really good because it just helps. She said, what do you want? And I said, I need help with clarity. And again, like I know this was my issue, was also going back to therapy, is that I'm like, I know that I have the one and only counselor that I need. I have my access 24/7, right? And I know that I can't expect someone to give me answers because I'm not going to get answers from them. But it's just to help for me to talk these thoughts out loud and for someone to ask me those questions. And really what we've been working on mostly recently is just defining the difference between thoughts and feelings. She's like, is that a thought or is that a feeling? And I'm like, or she'll say like something like, how do you feel? And I'm like, I'm good. She's like, that's not a feeling. That's a thought. I'm good.
Oh, wow.
So it's like working. I was like, oh, that's so right. And so yesterday specifically, we talked about the fact that she was like, you have control over your thoughts. And if you can have control over your thoughts, because your thoughts create your actions. I mean, your thoughts create your feelings and your feelings create your actions, right? So think about it. You think things, which makes you feel a certain way, makes you feel anxiety, right? When you have negative thoughts, you start to feel anxiety. And then therefore in your actions, you may take that out on someone else or snap at someone, or those kind of things happen. So she's like, you have control over your thoughts. No one can make you think anything. And, we talked about, and she is faith-based, which is was really, really important to me. And she's like, all of those thoughts, because I was like, I know I can't stop them. The enemy is always going to be present, right? But I'm like, that's whenever you get in the back seat, because you're not driving this bus. That's me and God. I know you're still here, but you're in the back seat.
That's awesome, Pam.
Get in the back seat, or in the passenger seat, whatever. Like you're not. So she's like, but you have control over your thoughts. And I was like, yeah, Anyway, that was good.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
I love that. It's so true, man. It's Chase earlier. You was mentioning something about in the mirror, like. I don't know. It's something I practice doing to myself is, I love you, Mo. You're awesome, dude.
Oh, man.
Just in the mirror. And like I just tell myself, but
see you doing that
Yeah,
too. Can you not?
I can too. And the contagious smile, just I love you, Mo.
I
love
do,
you too.
man.
I'm gonna need you to record yourself one day. Like, put
But,
that
like,
on, because I
used-
can so see you doing it.
I used to be complete opposite with that, though. Like, you ugly motherfucker. Look at your big ass teeth. Look at your big old nose, bro.
What?
Like you look, I don't know. Like, I used to say bad things. So,
Yeah.
So now it's just, I love you, Mo. You're awesome, bro. You're such an inspiration.
Yeah.
Like, I tell myself that. And
You are.
I feel that, and I try to be that all the time. So I
When
think
you told
it's
yourself
happening.
those not compliment, those comments like big teeth, whatever, was that something like from the kids told you or something as a kid? Because I always got made fun of my chin, as you could see the camera, but
Yeah,
man,
nice
it for a long time, like probably until recent years, man, I've accepted it, but I've always been like super self-conscious of that,
Yeah.
and would like look at myself in the mirror, like I want take a picture of myself and look at it like from the side profile, and like that's what people see. You're, and
Oh,
like
yeah,
tell
I get
myself
it.
those kind of things, man. It's just crazy, right?
Like
That's
it's made
crazy,
up. It's
man.
fake.
Yeah,
it's lies,
nuts,
man. It's just
This lies,
perceptions
man.
of other people that stuck with you mentally, and you
Yeah.
just feel that and live that and believe that, even though it's not true. you
Yeah.
I
know?
remember it was at
Just have to-
Evergreen. A guy told me
That one motherfucker.
Pachinio. It was Pachinio. That's what it was. That's what
Really?
he called me.
It's that inner
Instead of
child
Pinocchio.
feeling.
Yeah.
And man, that crushed me, man, for a long time, man, forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's
does.
crazy.
That's literally what happened
That's a
yesterday in
lifelong
counseling.
thing.
Like that's what happened. I was telling my husband about it last night. I was like, "You want me to tell you what we talked about in counseling today?" And I was like, that I had this whole revelation about something that I still to this day struggle with, and
from like a young age?
Well, I thought because we talked about it the last time that I sat with her.
Okay.
And I immediately answered. I was like, oh, that began when, right? And I immediately went back to, I don't know, I guess like after high school, like in my early 20s, right? When I was starting to make friends and stuff like that. And it hit me yesterday on my way to go see her. I was listening to a podcast and this guy said something and like that flashed before my eyes, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, that started in fourth grade.
Wow. Yes.
Fourth grade. And it was the same situation. Like one person said something and called me a teacher's pet. And that was when my whole life went from whatever to constantly trying to get people to like me, just be friends with me, just like me, and to me molding myself into being whoever I needed to be in order for that person to want to be friends with me. And that like stuck with me for so long. And today it's not so much in friends, because that's what I told her. I was like, I've come so far in that, like, because, and this, I don't want this to come off in a bad way, right? Because I know that this can, but I am very much in a place today where I'm like, I don't care if people like me or not. And I guess, and that's part of where my being able to be open is that there is no fear, because I know that the only person that I have to answer to and the only one that it matters is God, right?
Yes.
And so it's just, that's what I mean by whenever I say I don't care, like it doesn't matter. That's what I mean by that. So I know that that can sound bad, but I don't mean it in that way. But so I was like, but there are still other places in my life where and those are the things that I can't talk about, right? That I'm still struggling with or still dealing with, where it is those same feelings of me for me. Just see me, like me, for me, who I am. And I think it even more so affects me even more today, because I'm really not in that place anymore of molding myself into all these different people just to kind of fit in. Like I'm so far beyond that. So when those thoughts, right? I'm sitting in my head, is that a thought or is that a feeling? This is what she does to me, makes me constantly think. But I'm like, how do I make that stop? And that's what she was like yesterday. You have control over your thoughts, Pam. I'm like, I do. So I'm working on that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that.
I have a question, because I do, and I feel like I'm getting a lot better at it, much better. But do y'all have? I guess it's like a two-part question. But do y'all struggle with people pleasing, and it kind of goes off, but just saying yes to everything when you really don't want to?
Fuck no. I used to. I did for a long time.
Yeah.
But now, if it don't feel right, no, all the time.
I need to be better at that, but it's still something that I do struggle with.
If it disturbs my peace, my mental peace.
I've gotten so much better.
You know?
I have, but I'm just curious, if y'all have ever struggled with that or currently, or.
Man, I think having that self-love for yourself and knowing your own personal boundaries is important, and I think that could probably help you out a lot. But you know what? Like, this doesn't make me feel good. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Why do it? But then again, look, sometimes you have to help people in a sense, but another way, like,
that's different. That's different.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess that people pleasing thing. Fuck that. I'm not for it.
You did, though. I remember us having conversations about that, and you being like, Pam, I don't know how to say no.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'll just say, like, when I first started filming, I said yes to everything. And, like, now I'm like, I know what I want to do, but I still go backwards every now and then. And then those thoughts seep in.
We had a conversation at Embers the other day.
Yeah.
And I commended you for that, because I realized that you were vocalizing.
Yeah. I'm getting better at it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, like so a lot of people think that I'm great at social media. I'm not. I built a following off of parties back in the day with Living So Loud.
He's not good at social media.
Okay, so see, this is the point.
Man.
So normally I'd say, okay, yeah, I'll do your social media. But when have you ever seen me making reels or clips or anything like that? I don't do that. I want to shoot commercials. I want to shoot 30-second and 60-second commercials that you see on TV. That's like my standard. That's my end goal. That's my goal. I can build a team around me and eventually get there. But I'm not good on social media. I don't post with a strategy or anything like that. I don't do TikTok. I don't post on TikTok. Artillery Films isn't even on TikTok.
Yeah.
We don't post on Instagram. We do upload our weddings on YouTube. That's just to share with the bride and groom. But I want to do commercials. I don't do social media. So a lot of people reach out to me for those things, and I don't know. It's like, but yeah, I did. I vocalized that. I was telling you about that.
Do you have a list of services that you offer?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you have a list of like referrals and stuff? Like if someone says, hey, like I want can you do my social media? And you could be like, well, that's not on my service list. However, I know a really awesome person who can help you with that.
Yeah. No, I don't. I never really thought to do that.
Yeah.
I just can't really help you, but I can help you create a video, but I don't want to. So that's the thing. It's like that. I think that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it helps with the no, because you're not telling them no, you're saying, well, not me, but this person can.
Yeah,
so
that's
it helps you to know that you still helped, right?
Yeah.
You didn't just shoot them down and then send them on their way.
Like all
like
yeah.
Chase said no to me.
So look, I deal with this constantly with photos. People think that I shoot photos. I'm like, no, I'm a videographer, and I have the hardest time. And I do send them. I typically will send them a referral. You know, a few photographers here in the local area, but I have the hardest time saying no because I want to say yes.
Yeah.
You know, I want to say yes to them.
But it's just because they ask. It's just because you want to help. And so that's the thing, is that you're still helping if you point them in the right direction, right? And so it helps us to feel, and I mean them too. Like, I mean, they're coming to you because they trust you, right? Or that they've heard great things about you. And so it's just like, oh, well, that's not a service that I'll offer. However, I know this person who does a really great job. You know, give them a shout. That might help.
That's smart.
I'll be, you know what, man? I'm gonna be transparent about something.
Yeah.
I told you I wasn't gonna say this because I told Mo
think-
this. I told him about this. He's gonna know right when I start saying it. You know what it is?
No, not a clue.
Okay. So I guess it's about a year ago whenever you and Mandy first started that awesome company, MBS. Yeah, he knows. So y'all posted, or you posted and said, hey, is there any local videographers in the area? And people were tagging me. I didn't feel worthy enough to say, I can help
Chase.
y'all. I was so intimidated. Yeah, like I'm not going to create nothing good for them. I can't. Didn't I say?
Yeah.
Man, I'm like shaking right now.
Hold on.
Because I feel bad because I'm like, I should have just messaged Pam or Mandy. I know them personally.
I wish Mandy wasn't a school teacher in high school, because I would call her right now and put her on speakerphone and be like,
So many
tell
people were
Chase
tagging,
what I said.
And I'm like, I'm scared. I'm not messaging them because I'm not to that standard. Like these girls are, like that's how much I look up to y'all and what y'all were doing. And like, I'm like, there's no way that I could. And that's the kind of self-doubt that I deal with on a daily basis that I am overcoming, and I'm getting better at it. But just that long ago is where like it was dark. You know, it was dark for me where I had that thought and I believed it and I stayed with it.
But do you know that it was the exact same way on our end too? I was like, Mandy, like we're not there yet. Like we'll be there one day, but like
crazy?
we're not on
silly.
that
There ain't
level
no
yet.
way.
I swear, I would call Mandy right now and put her on speakerphone. That is literally
so
what I
crazy.
told her. I was like,
I got
Mandy,
goosebumps.
one
That is
day
crazy.
we're gonna be able to work, because I told her, like, this was a conversation I was going to have off of here, but we'll talk about it since you brought it up. I wasn't going to talk about this on this podcast.
It's like eating me up. It keeps popping in my head. I have it in my notes. I'm like, I'm not saying that. All right, I'm going to be transparent.
I'm
just gonna say it.
Mandy, one day I was like, because I would love nothing more than to have Chase and Hillary doing videos and stuff for us. And I was like, one day we're going to be there. I was like, but we're not there
We got to
yet.
talk. I'm so
gotta do that
happy.
commercial.
I'm so happy I got that off my
commercial.
chest, man.
That is awesome.
Did I not tell you that?
Yeah,
and I'm like, Mo, don't, because I even told him, I said, don't bring that up.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm going to tell, you know, Mo, please don't do that to me. But that's the kind of lies that I still deal with every now and then. Not as bad as I was, but yeah, I just had to say that. So I'm sorry I didn't message. It wasn't anything personal.
Look,
I was like afraid. I'm like, there's no way I would be able to do a good enough job for them.
Yeah.
Chase,
You shouldn't feel that way.
I love that. Now you want to strictly shoot commercials. So for you, that's like a hard boundary now, where you're like, that's firm. Look, I'm not doing no other BS. This
Yeah.
is what I'm
Yeah.
doing. This is what I love to do. This is what I'm passionate about doing, and this is it. So
Yeah.
I think just knowing and understanding that, you're gonna better, stop doing the people pleasing and saying
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
to a lot of things, because I don't do that.
Yeah. And I love doing recap videos, like go out to an event, a music festival, a behind the scenes type of thing, and creating like a highlight of the the event or the social or whatever that is. I love doing those. I won't stop doing those. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
job.
I heard something recently, man, where the guy was talking about setting a standard for yourself. And I guess that's kind of where I'm at. Like, where he's like, if you're a young person, well, think about, write your age down right now. How old are you? And then how old do you think you're going to be when you die? And I'm like, wow. Okay. So I start thinking about it. I'm like, okay, hopefully I live to like 90. All right, I'm 41. So, I have so many years left, whatever. It's like, okay. But think about a young person. Like, if you ask that to a young person, or even somebody my age, but okay, you have all of your 20s. What is your goal for your 20s? Where do you want to be? What's your standard? Oh, you want to, where's your standard for your 30s, your 40s, your 50s? Where do you see your life? And write it down for each decade, where, the standard for each decade. I don't know, I'm just sharing that with y'all because I thought that was so powerful. I'm like, wow. I mean, in 2 decades, I'm going to be a grandparent. I want to be able to, enjoy those, 60 to 70, whatever. But I can't go back now, but I can instill that in my kids. Start asking those type of questions to my kids. Not right now, but in their teen years once they hit high school and that kind of stuff. Because no one really ever asked me that. And if they did, I just avoided it. If my parents tried to talk to me about partying and that sort of thing, I lived like 20 hardcore years of partying and alcohol, like a lot. And so, so I asked, what's your standard? You could ask, maybe take that. I don't know.
I love it, Chase.
I just wanted to ask
It's that floor.
Yeah.
It's what's your floor. Like, for me, it's the floor. Like, where do you set your floor? Like, what is at the lowest minimum that you're going to accept? Because that you're going to pretty much only rise to your floor, right? So where's your floor? Like, where's your floor? Like, what does that look like for you? And that's like your minimum standard. Like, what is your minimum standard? But you get to choose what that is. So if, like I say, my minimum standard is, that I'm going to talk to this many people, or I don't know, just whatever it is for you. Like, those are certain things that you don't say out loud, right? But you have in your mind, like, this is my minimum standard in my life, and this is my floor.
Yeah.
And that's what I choose to live by. And so you have that in your business. Like, you have that in so many different things. So, like, in your business, like, this is my floor. This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And so you just have to be willing to say no to the things that aren't at your floor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
He's already doing it, because he did it to me the other day. Like, he vocalized. He's like, nah, bro, I'm not doing that shit. There's no.
I didn't say that word.
Not that.
I said I ain't doing that. I'm sorry, Mo.
He shot you down, Mo. Look, even for good friends, he's not doing it.
I love you, bro.
I love it.
What I am learning now is that in what I had to start, that realization that I had to have of that I am in control. Like, I get to choose. I get to choose who I put myself around. I get to choose the things that I watch. I get to choose the things that I listen to. I get to choose the people that I am let pour into me or talk to. Like, I get to choose.
Absolutely.
And it was that realization of I get to choose that just kind of started all of that. It's like, I choose. And so it's like, I don't have to go hang out with the people that I know are all drinkers and they're going to want me to go drink. I don't have to go. I get to choose.
I think that's the hard realization, but it's good for yourself, because it's your own self-worth, that you're building up at that point, because you're like, nah, I'm not surrounding myself with that crap, it's not good for me. I know it's toxic. What's the point? like, I don't know, boundaries that we're talking about.
You said something. Oh wait, hold on. Did you want to pick up? I think you were starting to ask Mo something.
No.
I don't. One of y'all said something. I think it was you on the y'all podcast or whatever. And this just kind of goes into that. It's that whole like it costs you everything to follow God, and it truly does. Like it costs you everything. You have to die to yourself.
Yes.
To follow God.
Mm-hmm.
Like you really do. Like you have to. Like it's all. This is like your flesh, right? But like everything else has to die in order for you to follow God, to truly follow God. And so that's what happens when you said that being okay with like, I'm not going to have those friends anymore.
Yeah.
Being okay with like, I'm not going to listen to those things anymore. Or I'm not going to watch these certain things anymore. Or I'm not going to engage in these conversations anymore. And being okay with that. Like there's a difference in being like, I really can't talk to this person, but it's eating me up inside. And just being like, it's just not for me anymore. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a grief too in a sense, because certain relationships, you know, like you have to let go of that you had for 10, 15, or even your whole life because they're family members, you know what I mean? But you still have to know yourself and love yourself enough to be like, you know what, like I could love them from a distance and it's okay.
It's a whole mourning process.
Yeah.
Like you are mourning the loss of people, places,
Man, this is good.
things, all this stuff. Mourning the loss of yourself, right?
Yeah.
So let me
that
tell
too.
you,
Yes, this is so
what
good.
my biggest struggle, and y'all are gonna relate, what my biggest struggle was. And honestly, I'm still kind of dealing with it because this conversation gets brought up. I was literally asked the question, Pam, what do you do for fun? And I was like, I work out and
that's funny.
and I work. I
don't know
really
it.
like to work, and and I
I do for fun.
so listen, I struggled with this for a lot, and I still am, but I am also coming to terms with like that truly is for me. Like there's certain things that I'm so passionate about, and it brings me so much joy. But for a long time, I struggled with people telling me, "I wish you would just have fun." Since I've quit drinking, I wish you would just loosen up, and I wish you would just let go and have fun. And I'm like,
Yeah, why don't you start drinking again, Pam? What the?
hey, so but I was also struggling with that as well, because that was when I look back and I'm just like, what did I used to do when I was having fun?
You was drinking.
That's what I associated fun with, is
Yes.
that I was hanging out with a bunch of people.
Yes.
And I was drinking and getting drunk. That was it. That was fun in my life. And so I was like,
MBS is the fun
what?
of your life.
And,
brand,
and
built
not
in
even
that.
just that. Like there's so many other things that I'm so passionate about and I truly enjoy. And and I do, like I like to journal and I like to write, and I really do, like I like to work out and stuff. And so that is what's fun for me. Like I like to go to dinner with some friends and stuff like that. Like I enjoy doing that. I like to go meet up with my friends and we have like those long, deep conversations. Like that's fun. And so it was me coming to terms with and accepting that fun looks a lot different for me now.
Yeah.
And being okay with that, because I really beat myself up a lot about you're not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Or what does fun look like for you?
Wow. I've dealt
Right?
with this same.
Yeah.
I mean, you were
110%.
speaking my language, Pam.
'Cause
That's
it's
crazy.
true.
Yeah.
Like I had like this whole
Wow.
internal battle
Yeah.
with myself, or letting the enemy again tell me things like, "Oh, you're not fun anymore. Like you're just this sucky person that's just like, I don't know." I did. Like I was like I really mourned and almost even sometimes questioned like, would I drink again just so I could have fun again? No, like I don't want that. So then when people ask me like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I work out and I work on MBS, or, writing or speaking.
You like to write too?
I do.
That's cool.
That kind of goes
I didn't
into
know
the
that.
whole key. I like to write for the keynote part, but one day I will write a book one day.
Oh,
I
that's
will write a
awesome.
book one day.
Yeah.
That's coming
You
later.
could just save
Yeah.
all the stuff you've written and eventually just
I'm still building
bundle
that
it
book right
together.
now.
you type
And living
or you
it, right?
physically
I
Yeah.
am still living out what that book will be
That's so
one day.
cool.
Do you physically write or type?
Both.
Okay. I hadn't typed up nothing. I write, but it's all in the notebook.
I do
probably
both.
pages and pages.
I typed my keynote. That's typed. That was like 15 pages long. So I wasn't about to write that. However, earlier you talked about what I did write. Chase the waves. This was the beginning of last year. I wrote a whole, I don't know what you call it, poem or something like that. I was sitting on the couch one day and I had this whole, it was just one of those moments where it was just like this super visual revelation of my journey through all of this and healing and surrender. And I related it all to being in the ocean and the waves.
Oh,
Literally,
wow.
I swear.
Yeah,
And
I did see, your face when I said that. I seen.
I
You were
was
kinda
like, literally. I have it, and I
Wow.
read it on a podcast episode. So I'm
Really?
going to send you
Yes, please do.
the podcast episode when I
Okay.
read that, because I talk about that, about how, you're on the shore and you're super hesitant, and then you kind of walk in a little bit and the waves kind of hit you at your feet. And like, I related it to like, and then you get in and it's like, and then the waves are coming, and then another wave and another wave and another wave, and you feel like you're never going to come out of all of this. And then finally you get to the other side and everything's just like super calm,
Yeah.
and then
That's
you're
so
ready to
good.
like come back into the shore. And whenever you do, it's just like the waves are just like guiding you in,
Yep.
guiding you in. Like I'm gonna send it to you.
That's so
It's
cool.
so,
That
whenever you
is.
said that, I was like, yes, like that is it. Like if it's so for someone else to see it and feel it in that way, because that is what it feels like.
Yeah.
That is what it just feels like. You're going into the ocean, into these waves, and like it's super scary. And like, what if I drown? Like, who's
Yeah.
gonna save me? I don't know.
That's
I'm
so
gonna send it
cool.
to you.
Yeah, it's funny because I always kind of go back to like a sailor with the seas. I mean, it's similar but different in a way, because it's always like a sailor, an inexperienced sailor, just stays at the harbor and does nothing. But a person that wants to explore and go out, you got to go out there in the rough seas to grow and be the best that you can be. And to go out there, you got to have that faith
Absolutely.
behind you, knowing
Absolutely.
that you got God with you to carry you and be with you and
That's
get you
good,
over the waves. You know what I mean, or whatever it is that you're going through. I love it. I love it all. Pam, you've always been a positive force in my life, like with real estate and just the conversations that we had. And I just love that you're here on this podcast sharing
Aw.
with everybody.
Spoke the same thing about you, Mo. I'm like, man, Mo like gave me so much good advice. I was like, we would have like these deep conversations.
Yeah.
Like put my head on straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we had like transactions together, and like we would get on the phone and talk for an hour and a half sometimes, and
Everything but the transaction.
yeah,
Oh yeah, by the way, about the customer that we were talking about.
right, yeah. It's so
I have some. I'll kind of piggyback. I'll just be transparent. So it's not until recently when I had that last drink, and I said it on the last podcast where I was laying on that sofa. When God spoke to me, said, "You do this again, I'll take it all from you. Everything, your family, your business, everything." But up until then, I wasn't sure that I was ready to give it up. I thought, you can still drink.
Yeah,
You can still be social, Chase. You're strong in everything else. You're building a brand, you're building whatever. You're great at parenting, whatever. I don't know. You're great at all these things. You're good with your wife. You're like, you can be good at drinking. I just hear that, and I wasn't sure. So I don't know what part of that's popping in my head, and I feel like I need to be transparent about that. But I think you had asked something earlier, and I just feel like I wanted to share that. So for anybody that's struggling with addiction, man, don't listen to that lie, because that is a lie. That you can use or you can drink sociably. Trust me, you can. No, you be the first person in history to do it, and you can. I know I can't, and now I'm like confident in knowing I can't. I just can't. It's not for me. It's
Yeah.
not me, and I need to set that boundary.
Yeah.
And cut friends off and do all that stuff. And I avoid going to most gatherings or functions and stuff like that. But with me, I'll say this, and I truly believe this. When I drink, it's every single time I've ever drank after going to the Home of Grace. It's a faith-based Christian program. Every single time I've drank, I woke up that morning and said, today I'm drinking. Nothing's stopping me. I've never been somewhere like with family or a best friend or at a function and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a drink because I'm here. No, normally I just go have fun. If I'm whatever. Once I'm there and I'm not drinking, I'm not gonna drink. It's when I wake up in the morning and I start telling myself those lies, like you're not worth it. Yeah, whatever, just drink. It'll make it all go away.
You wake up in the morning with that thought?
Yeah, if I wake up with that mindset. And so that's why now I have standards. I have boundaries in place where the first thing I'm doing is I'm praying and I'm listening to worship music. And then I go walk Cooper. That's like my morning. That sets the tone of the day.
Yeah.
Because if I start telling myself lie, I don't know where that would lead me. But yeah, I've never like been somewhere at a function. I've gone to dinners or whatever, or a function where every single person's drinking but me. You know, and I'll be like, well, hey, I'll drive, dude, whatever.
That's me.
You know, but it's never persuaded me to drink or made me feel pressure to drink. It doesn't.
That's okay. And I tell people that, like, it's okay. Like, don't, because people are like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, if you want to drink, like, it's okay. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
You know, you're not making me uncomfortable. Like, I'm still going to be here and have fun. Like, it's okay.
So y'all get obnoxious and aggravate, then I'm getting the hell out.
No, but
so you've
listen,
never been like,
hold on, for real though. Like, if anything, what it does for me is when that does happen, right? Because it does. Like, there are people that have a little bit too much to drink, and I'm like,
that was me. That was me, yeah.
Like, they're not even there.
That's why I quit drinking.
This is why.
Because I was I was them right
and usually
there.
in a group of people, there's always that one person that gets way over the top, right?
That was me.
Yeah.
Every time.
It was
Every
me
time.
too.
But Chase, you know what? Like, that is that. So I feel like it's, and this may not always be the case, right? But I think it's like the high functioning people, right? And so we're constantly going and doing and doing and doing, but yet we look on the outside, like hiding behind that perfectionism, right? Like, we're doing all the things and we're successful and like we're friends with all these people and we help, whatever. But then we come home and then we're like in our head and we're telling ourselves all these like super negative things. And that alcohol for me was the one and only thing that would shut that off.
Yes. Same
turn that off, and it would silence all of those thoughts that I would tell myself and beat myself up with. And at the same time, I also had the people who I was with was like, oh, drink, you're so fun when you drink, let's drink. So it was two things, right? It was A, I'm going to shut it off, and B, I'm also going to get the compliments that I was trying to get to
and a sober mind.
Supplement the negative things that I was telling myself. Or that I was allowing the enemy to tell me, right? Mm-hmm. That I was taking in. And so that's for me what it was. But it was just a temporary fix. And so like you said, it's so like I drink and then it turns it off. And then all of these things happen. And then the next day, I'm beating myself up even worse than I was before I started drinking. Yep. A, because of how I feel. B, because of the things that I said or did or whatever. And it just snowballed.
That shame.
It just snowballed, right? Like, I thought I was going to fix it. I thought I was going to fix it by drinking. I'm going to turn it off. And now you just made it even worse. You know? So that is also what, on many times throughout my life, that I can really recount and say, like, I legitimately was suicidal. Like, there's been those times in my life, too, because I beat myself up so bad and allowed the enemy to attack me so heavily that I was just like, I don't have no purpose here anymore. Wow. So that's if it is like, it really is that deep. Like, it really is that deep, you know? And I know that there are a lot of people that struggle with that. Yeah. Or admitting it, right? That's the first step, right? Yeah. Is recognition, recognizing and admitting to it that, like, it's not okay. So anyway.
Yeah. I think that's, I don't know, just growing through that, I guess after going through it and realizing why you drank and knowing that, like, that wasn't you, like, I think that's so powerful, so big for anybody, because I don't know. I think like here in Louisiana, especially, I think so many people just drink just to drink. You know, not even really knowing the negative effects that it really has on their life because they're completely just lost in doing it so much and every day that they think it's okay. And look, and for some people it works. You know, I don't know how, but for me it doesn't because I was like you, Pam. I was one of those persons that likes drink till I black the fuck out and just and then having people tell me, man, you said this last night, you did this last, bro. I
Stop
hate
talking.
it. I hate it.
Stop telling me. Yeah.
I hated that.
Oh man, I hated it too.
You
Gosh,
got
I
naked
hated
last
it.
night. Why'd you take off your clothes, bro?
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that. What'd you tell me? You must have provoked me some kind of way.
Yeah, it's not my fault, right?
Yeah.
Who told me to do that?
Right.
I hated it.
You
like,
dared me.
bro. Like, yeah, just the whole thought of taking off all my clothes is like, bro. Like, I can't believe I did that. Like,
Did
I
this
would
really
never
happen,
do
Mo?
that. Yeah, 100 tickets did. More than once. Yeah, butt naked.
You were the true version of tequila makes your clothes fall off.
Yeah.
Like,
It was tequila. I never drank tequila again
I
after
don't know.
that.
Is that a song or is that a saying?
It's a saying.
something?
Yeah, it's a saying.
I
You-
never
that
drank
was you, Mo?
Yeah,
That's
that was the
hilarious,
first time that I
man.
drank tequila, and that was the last time I drank tequila.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like Pam knew that. That's wow. I never heard that before though.
That's
Seriously.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord. You ever got naked while you were drunk?
I don't know. I can't remember. Like intentionally, I don't.
No.
Like out in public, I don't think so.
I was a teenager too. That's the sad part.
Yeah, I'm sure you were instigated, provoked to do it.
I'm telling.
You weren't around people that were encouraging your purpose, or unless that was your purpose, was to get naked.
There's no telling. Sickening. It's wild, man. It's that.
Your editor's definitely going to use just this part as a clip, right? To get people to click the YouTube link.
I have no idea.
People are like, what the heck were they talking about, bruh?
Did you?
Right. Got naked? What?
Please go listen to the whole podcast.
That is funny. But they didn't have like phones back then, though, right? They had beepers.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. My shame would have been a million times worse, man, if they would have had phones like
Look.
20 years ago. Thank God it was just the bag phones in the
Oh, I've
cars.
thought about that so
Gosh.
many times. Like,
Especially like in our teen years, early 20s. There
Yeah,
wasn't
but you
really
know what,
phones
though?
with cameras. They had
I
the
did
phones,
this
but
myself.
it's social media. Yeah.
in my
Social media
single
wasn't there.
days, like that was my drunken problem. Like people who had Snapchat when I was
Yes.
single.
Yeah. And they would yeah.
No, me. Like in
Oh,
my
you would-
drunken.
You would
I
post yourself?
Oh yeah, and like whoever I was hanging out with, like we were drinking,
Oh,
and
wow.
like the videos that
Oh,
I
man.
would, and like I would wake up the next morning and I'm like delete, because I again don't remember posting 90% of what was
man.
even on there, and
Yeah.
I was just like wow,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
like. And of course, and I got all the comments like, "Oh, y'all are so fun. Like I live
I wanna come hang out.
vicariously through
Yeah, I wanna
y'all."
come hang out
Like,
with
well,
you.
and I'm like, stop telling me. Like I deleted all those Snapchats. Like I can't even believe I posted that. Like of me, like slurry. Like you can't even understand what I'm saying.
Oh,
like
man.
eyes rolling in the back of my head. Like it's just y'all. I'm telling. I'm like you. That was really bad. Oh,
It's that, earlier you said it's to look back on that kind of stuff is like, bro, like to think how far you've
Oh,
come.
gosh,
It's
yeah, like
man, this
so-
is like
so
completely
much.
different person.
yeah.
That is awesome.
But so like, I think one of the things, because we talk a lot about drinking and about quitting drinking and stuff like that. What I know is now that I haven't drank, how much different my life is and how many things have changed. So, and I'm going to speak from a little bit from the perspective of a woman. That's like TMI for y'all, right? But there are like woman things that that are very, very different for me now that weren't before. There are things like where I noticed, like last year, you asked me before, or we talked about it on my way over here, about me doing 75 hard last year. I would have never been able to do that if I was still drinking, right?
What's 75 hard? I've never heard of it.
Oh.
It's a workout thing?
It's a mental toughness challenge. So
Oh, cool.
So I'll fill you in on that.
Okay.
So I would have never been able to do that. But that was also when I noticed that like I was able to start losing weight. Like I've noticed my mental clarity. I've noticed
Clarity, yes.
I've noticed things like certain, especially in the beginning, I don't really notice it so much now because it's been 18 months, but like in the beginning, like I noticed like foods tasted different. There are things that I eat now that I would have never eaten before. And because I really think it was just like my taste buds, like my taste buds have changed since then. Like there's so many things that I could say that have really changed since I quit drinking. So that's just another one of the things. Like, I guess when you start realizing all those things and you're like, wow, I don't know. It was one of the things I think I noticed it mostly when I was still in transition of I wasn't ever trying to quit drinking. That's another thing is that I never had a defining moment of I quit. That didn't happen for me. It just kind of happened. And 75 Hard was part of it. It was,
okay.
I did it and then I was like, well, it's been 75 days since I drank and I'm fine. So like, why drink? But in my leading up to I'm cutting back on drinking, that's when I really noticed it is that I would do really good and then I would drink and I was like, man, like my stomach was messed up for like 2 weeks or like female like hormone issues or, just stuff like that. And I was like every time I would, I was like, it's really, there's so many things that it was affecting and not just me beating myself up for it, right?
Mental clarity is,
Yeah.
that's probably been the biggest.
A lot of people ask, and so
this-
that's why I talk about it, is because I get so many questions, especially, again, because we are in South Louisiana, which revolves around get-togethers, food, and drinking.
And
like,
drinking.
that is
Yep.
our culture here. And so people are just like, I don't know how you do it. Like, how do you just not drink? And I'm like, I just don't. Because once you take it out, it's kind of the same thing that I tell people about eating right and working out. I'm like, once you start doing it, I promise you, like, when you stop, like, you're like, oh, man, like, I need to eat right and I need to work out because it makes me feel so much better. It's kind of the same thing with drinking. I'm like, once you take it out for so long, like, you realize, like, it really doesn't serve you any good,
That's facts. It's true. And you can look back and like, dang, I don't know. It's just so many bad decisions were made with this stupid alcohol stuff,
You caught that S word,
He
bro.
did. I wasn't gonna call him out. Jason called him out.
I'm in the house again. I can't be cursing up in here.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate, especially with the mental clarity. Just thinking so clear. I've become so much more patient. We intentionally, we recently did this. We did a 21-day challenge here in our house with no yelling, and it's this. We haven't. I say recently. It's probably about 10 months ago, or something, maybe close to a year, and I don't think anybody's yelled. Especially my wife and I, like, we won't yell at our kids or anything like that. We just did this 21-day, and it just went on. And that's really cool, too. I just feel peace, not knowing that I'm not going to drink again. Finally knowing and not, like, again, going back to that, but I would just tell myself, you're still going to be able to drink one day. One day, even when you're a grandpa, you'll be able to have a beer. This silly stuff, and that's just such a lie. But now I don't know, man.
Good job,
yeah.
Jason. Man, I think whenever I think back to my drinking, I think that I drank because I wasn't happy with myself. So hollering
I can 100%
at other people
that's me.
was easy to do because we're not happy with ourselves, so we lash out on other people, even...
You drinking to forget, man.
Yeah.
To numb it.
It's crazy because, I don't know, for me, that was the big realization that helped me to quit and be like, bruh, like, you gotta stop this. It's not good for you because you were not you. And that was something I had to accept because I was always that person. I was like, I don't change whenever I drink. I'm the same person. Like, you tripping. Like, you're just sensitive. Like, I blamed it on other people instead of, actually, it was my wife because she was the one that really kind of, like, tried to push me to quit and really cried a lot because she hated whenever I drank. Even if, for a long time, even after I quit, she would get, I guess, like a trauma response where she's like, oh, fuck. So her anxiety would go through the roof because if I did have that one drink, would that one drink turn into 2, 3, 4? Would it turn out to me blacking out?
Those words,
Yeah, so it was, I don't know.
And shout out to your wife, man. I don't know her personally, but I feel like I do just from how much you talk about her and talk her up, man. But just the shine that you have, your spouse is obviously awesome, man. So it's Jennifer, right?
Jenny.
Jenny. I'm
Jenny
sorry,
with a
Jenny.
G.
Jenny with a G. That's right.
Yep. It's,
Shout out to G.
Bro, like,
Because, man,
she put up with a
obviously
lot
a
of
solid
shit.
woman. Yeah, to stick by your side.
Because I would have left. I ain't
Yeah.
put up with that BS, you
Yeah.
know, because she's been trying to help raise my level of awareness for years, and I couldn't see it, you know.
Yeah.
I would resist it, you know, and it really didn't happen till like 2020 whenever I had time to stop and rest and read and, you know, like get a better understanding. I was like, wow, you know.
Oh,
and,
so COVID was good for something. Huh?
Yeah, no doubt.
bro, like for me, that was whenever I started getting into Audible, and ever since then, like I'm like a fiend for Audible.
Bro, you and
I
those
go-
audibles, man. Yeah.
I go a few hours.
Look at
at
my
the Audible.
hours, man. I'm like, I don't even know if I have 20 minutes this month. He's got like 12 hours. I love that about him.
I love Audible, man. The other day I was on the road for 8 hours with somebody, and whenever I got home, I felt like a big void, and it was from not listening to Audible.
Oh,
that
wow.
day. I
Yeah.
feel like it's my new addiction, you know, because
You could have put one AirPod in on the opposite end of your passenger and you listen.
I'm like that. I
I'll
get
do
that though. So, cause listen,
I've done that before.
I'm listening to like I want to listen to I'm either listening to worship music or I'm listening to a podcast while I'm driving. So like whenever I ride with other people, and like you know, obviously I'm like, oh, we're gonna talk, but I do like I get out and because I drive a good bit, right? Driving, go get my kids and all the things. So it's not often that I'm driving with other people other than my children, and so I get out of the car and I'm like, I had a whole trip and I didn't get to listen to a podcast.
like a
I didn't
void.
get to-
Yeah.
It is. And so
crazy.
that's when people are, you know, sometimes people are like, well, I don't want you to ride by yourself. I'm like, no,
It's okay. Yeah, it's cool. I don't mind.
Because I
driving.
really do. Like, I get
Yeah.
so, like,
That's awesome.
I don't know. Or just, in all honesty, there's times where I'll drive and I'm driving and I'll be driving for like 20 minutes and I'm like, oh, I was just sitting in silence. And, like, that's even better sometimes,
I love
too, is
that.
to just have those silent thoughts. Because,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, look, I can't.
Those
I
are
don't know
deep
why.
thoughts.
I think that's something I don't know if I avoid that or what. But my wife did ask me the other day. She was like, "Hey, you don't ever just sit in silence?" I said, "Sometimes if I meditate in the morning before I wake up or before I go to bed, even before I go to bed, most times I got Audible playing. You know."
Yeah.
That is
Just-
something that I am working on, like, and like really, and I have to really work hard on. Is
Not going to bed with your phone.
or just to stop in general, to just stop and sit still
Yeah.
and be quiet.
It's tough.
Because I'm go
Yeah.
go all the time, and it's just and I mean literally sit and be still and be quiet
Yeah.
and just listen.
When you figure that out, let me know.
Yeah. I struggle with that. Like I'm doing better with actually like because I do like I sit in the morning and I read the Bible and stuff, but not doing anything. Like
Right,
not even reading in the Bible, not reading, you know, my devotional, like nothing. Just to sit and be still and listen. It's so hard.
It is.
It's so hard. It is hard to turn this off.
I think that's why it's good to go to the beach. Sometimes you go to the beach, you just sit on the beach and just listen to the waves and just
Yeah.
tune everything out and just be at that point. you
That's
know?
Hillary and I's
Bro.
jam. We love Navarre Beach. We should be spokesmen for traveling to Navarre Beach.
Yeah, really?
We go to Navarre at least twice a year, and we've got it now where we're going for a week at a time. Where that second afternoon, that day that you're there, till like the day before you leave, like we're there. We're turning off our phones. We're disconnecting. We love it.
Yeah,
we love Navarre Beach.
That
Yeah.
disconnection is
so
good.
pretty.
Yeah.
The
I-
beach,
I use
the
the
beach
hell
really
out.
is a good
Oh yeah,
place.
big
Yeah.
time. Because I don't know, for me personally, that's the place where I can go and just completely stop.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
just tune it out. You know, it's and just having the sound of the ocean, the waves. You know,
Yeah, that's those waves.
beautiful.
That's those waves again. Like I'm telling you, like there's something super powerful about the beach and the waves and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing that. You said you wrote a poem?
Yeah.
Okay.
I sat on the couch that day when I sat down and I wrote it. It was like pages and pages. And I took pictures of it and I sent it to Mandy and she was like, you just wrote. I was like, yeah. She was like, Pam, that's really awesome. She's like, that's really
Yeah.
good. And I was like, and then so we had a podcast episode and I was like, I think I'm going to read it. And Mandy's like, you serious? And I was like, I think
that's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool.
I was like, I think I'm going to read it. So
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. So I'll send it to you. I'll
Okay.
share it with you. This was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved sitting with y'all
Me too.
and talking with y'all.
I did. I don't know. I feel charged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes people would get me like a little, like a roller coaster, a little bit of emotions and stuff. But I just feel like just peaceful with you two. I don't know. It's the energy. It's just, I don't know, the love, the excitement. You know, the anticipation that I've been having for the past week and a half. You
Yeah.
know, for this whole opportunity to be with you guys. It's
Yeah.
super grateful.
Yeah.
Like I feel
same.
like I could never like repay it back for you guys in a sense, you know what I mean?
Oh.
But it's just I don't know how to repay it back.
Mo,
because
being
just-
you is that's it. That's
Yep.
it, man. And you feel that way around people because people also feel that same way about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. I love
Yeah.
how you said that, Chase.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
I think you told me that one time because I was struggling.
Yeah.
And you asked me. You said, "Man, do people? What's their response? Like, what's their? What do you see when people see you?" I'm like, usually they're like, "Hey, what's up, man?" You know, and give me a hug, and you're like, "That's exactly what who you are to people.
Yeah.
People feel comfortable to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
So you give off that radiant light, bruh.
I try to be.
Yeah.
Even like, look, there's days where I'm struggling like crazy, you know, and I still try to be that always, you know. And I think it's really helped me because even, you know how they say fake it till you make it? I feel like for some time I was faking it till I make it with that. And I feel like by doing that, I feel like it helped me to truly love myself a little bit more and have more grace on myself because like both of you, I was hard on myself, you know, and I still am sometimes, but not nearly as bad as I used to be. Like looking in the mirror, be like, this ugly motherfucker dude, what do you, I don't know, go fix your face, you know? It's just terrible, man. I don't know.
Well, you're never faking it. Do you know that? I don't like that saying because it's really not true. Because anyone who feels like they're faking it until they make it, at the end of the day, where you're saying you're faking it is because you're telling yourself, again, those are the thoughts, right? Those are the thoughts of the enemy telling you that you're faking it. But at the end of the day, everything, Mo, that comes out of your mouth is not fake. It's never been fake. You're never, nothing, the way that you act and the way that you interact and talk to other people, Mo, that's your heart. That's who you are at the core. So having that perception of I'm faking it till I make it, again, that's the thoughts and the lies of the enemy telling you that, oh, you're being fake. You're
Right.
not that person who is helping those people. You're not this happy person that helps to lift
Yeah,
up
that's
other
so
people. But it's true.
Yeah. It's so
It's
sweet
true.
that you
There's
put it that
no,
way.
and I'm
get
saying
you.
that to you, Mo, because I've said that about myself too, out loud before. Out loud, literally to my husband. I've told him, I was like, I'm just gonna fake it till I make it. And I'm like, that's just another thing that I've realized over these last 2 years, just another live enemy. Like, what are you faking? Like, what are you faking? Like, that is you. That is your heart,
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah.
I love that you shared that with me, Pam, because it's liberating in a sense where I'm not holding myself to that fake it till you make it BS,
Yeah.
because I'm not. You know what I mean? Because, I don't know, I think I openly share too much of myself sometimes because I am open book and I like to express the emotions and the feelings and, you know what I mean, instead of repressing it, because I think by repressing that stuff, it turns into depression. You know, then you end up sad and like you just, I don't know, I guess don't know who you are in a sense because you can't be who you are because you're suppressing it, you know? So, and I think by letting go and just openly talking, you just feel better because you're not hiding behind anything, you know? And it's liberating as hell.
Yeah.
And I think
That's where I'm at.
you, and you, like, it's just speaking and telling the story and sharing. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm free. Like you
Yeah.
could think this whatever you want. Don't like this
Yeah.
is who I am. You know, this is what I beat. This is what I overcame, and this,
Yeah.
I'm free. I'm good.
I'm
I'm
free.
happy. You know.
I am free. Yeah. That is that feeling. Like, even like I'm free.
It's such a like a good feeling,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
You feel free, Chase.
I feel free. I do.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that helps in the here and the now too, And so I think that's like my biggest thing is just the whole, I guess that's my even more so my mission right now is to let people know, because I know for a fact, just because I hear a lot of things, a lot of people have conversations, right? Or certain things that I've actually seen people post is that right now people are struggling.
Yes.
Like, and because of our economy, just because things have just gradually gotten worse, between the increases in cost of living and, or, with financial, like situations with jobs, or even just people who are sitting in fear of like what's going to happen, and people are struggling. People are really, really struggling a lot right now. And so just knowing that you're not alone, that they're not alone, like you're not alone in the struggle. But also knowing that, and just, if you can have faith, if you've already surrendered your life to Christ, but you're not fully trusting, to seek that spiritual guidance, like whether it's someone in church or just someone that that's going to help to talk to you, or that everything that you see on social media truly is just the highlight reel, right? And I know we talk about that so often, but it's really the truth, right? Because even me, like people can look at me and, or even when I told you I talked to Renee, and she was like, and I shared that, I was like, Renee, like I'm walking through the hardest season of my life. And she was like, I would have never thought that. But again, it's not because there's no faking it till I make it, right? It's not about that. It's about just that knowing and that trusting, and not having any, because it's like genuinely, like there have been many other really hard seasons and other things that I've had to walk through and overcome in my life. And in those times, that is when I was super depressed. I was filled with anxiety. I was filled with fear. That is when the times when I was crawled up in a corner in a ball in my room contemplating suicide. Like those are the things that were happening because I hadn't surrendered my life to Christ. And that's why I said, like, it's so different. And I talk with my close friends about it. I'm like, this is such a different feeling. And I'm so grateful, right? I'm so grateful. And I like give God all the glory and the honor and the praise, because like I would have, even just 3 years ago, I wouldn't be able to walk through what I'm walking through right now and sit here and be like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it's all going to work out for whatever, like God's will is going to be done one way or another. And I know that it's all for a bigger and better purpose or plan that he has, and whenever that's going to be, right? In his timing. And it's so, and I'm walking through it because I know that it's all for a purpose. And so if I can give anyone any kind of encouragement, is that you're not alone in the struggle. You're not alone in the darkness. I know y'all talked about that on the last, like if things feel dark, if you're walking through the valley, like God's going to make a way. He's going to fill that valley at some point in time. Yeah. You just have to lean in and trust. And every, waking minute that you have any ounce of doubt or fear or questioning or anything, like this is where it's at.
That's it.
This is where it's at. Like this is where it's at. And it's all in there. And if you don't have one, like, let me know, because I'm going to get you one. Come to church. Come see us. Come see us at church. Like, we're, there's people to help you that want to help you.
I love that, Pam, because I think a lot of times, how you said you was hot, ducked in the corner, and I think if we're not mobile, we're not taking action on certain stuff, we get that way because we'll want to hide in a sense instead of being out and illuminating, you know what I mean? And just sharing parts of ourselves or putting ourselves out there in certain aspects, or taking action on a career or that position that you've been wanting, but like you feel like you can't do it, and like you just keep putting yourself down and but if you start taking action and doing things, you come out that dark spot and just I don't know, just more love and more light to everybody and everything,
Taking action.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
That's it. Keep moving. You have to move.
Absolutely.
You have to move. And that conversation has come up a lot lately too, because I was like, I know that God's just preparing. Like I'm in a season of preparation, right? That is what the darkness is, when you're being prepared. You're in a season of preparation. But I'm like, it's not going to, God does have a plan, right? He has a plan over your life and all these things, but things aren't always just going to fall into your lap. Do they sometimes, right? Sometimes God just like here you go. And it's just, you're just like,
I've been
whoa,
trying to show you
wow,
this for
thank
so
you.
long.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always happen that way, right? You still have to move. You still have to take action. Guided movement, like when you praying over it and saying, God, like help to guide my steps and stuff. But you still have to move. You still have to take action. And two is that it's okay. You're still human, right? It doesn't make you any less of a Christian, because you mentioned this earlier, when you have those moments of where you allow the enemy in, right? Or you have those moments of, this a fear and stuff. Like, you're human and it's going to happen. So knowing that too. So I will openly share this. Just last Sunday, I didn't go to church because I couldn't bring myself to go to church, and I know that even those are the moments when I really need to be there, right? Whenever I'm like, I can't even bring myself to go, you need to just go anyway. But with that being said, because on Saturday, I had one of those days where I really felt like I was being like literally attacked, and I was just beating myself up so bad.
Did you
On
talk
the
to
Saturday.
somebody?
Not Saturday.
Okay.
Sunday, I talked to God in my bedroom. Windows, blackout windows, curtains completely shut, on the floor, on my knees, in front of my bed, literally in tears, sobbing, like talking out loud, calling out, like probably yelling at God that day, of just like, help me, and whatever it is. So just to know that like you're human and that happens. But when those moments happen, when you have those moments of weakness, when you have those moments of the limiting beliefs and the doubt and the fear and anxiety and the enemy, you're allowing the enemy to take over, like that is when you need to rebuke those things and you need to call out to God more than ever.
Yes.
So it's okay to have those moments. Like, we're going to have those moments, but it doesn't make you any less Christian for that.
Yeah.
Too. And last but not least, to be specific in your prayers.
Thank you for sharing that too.
Being
so
specific in your
transparent.
prayers. Because I joked about this because it's true. And I talked about this somewhere else too. Anyway, but that's why I had this open, because I wanted to make sure I talked about it. So it reminded me. I wish I didn't pull it up, because I was going to tell the exact line in where I read this the other day. And I was like, that is exactly what we were talking about when I said to be specific in your prayers, because I catch myself, and I literally, when I do this, and I tell myself literally out loud, like, Pam, you have to tell him what, because God wants to know what, even though God already knows what you want and what you need, right? Because he knows everything. He still wants you to say it. And so I'll catch myself when I have one of those days where I just feel like everything, like I just got everything piled on and I'm just like, I'll lay in bed and I'm like, God, help me. And I'm like, really? What would you like help with? It reminds me of our kids whenever they come to us and they're just whining.
Yeah.
And they're like, and you're like, use your words.
Yes.
That's what God's telling you. God's
that's
telling
good,
you,
Pam.
use your words and just tell me. And so and I cannot find, because I was going to quote the exact, but in here I was reading the other day, and it talks about how when Jesus heals the blind man, and he comes out and the blind man's calling out to him, and the people are trying to quiet him, and Jesus is like, tell him to come here. What does he want?
Yeah.
Or tell him to come here. And Jesus looks at him and says, Jesus knows the man's blind. He knows he's blind, but he goes, what do you want? And he says, I want to see. And he says, go, you've been healed. And I'm like, that's it. That's it. Jesus knows he's blind. He just wants him to be specific in his prayers, be specific in your requests. And I'm like, that's me. Whenever I'm like, God, help me. With what? Pam, use your words. So that's just
good,
another
Pam.
thing. To
That's
be
awesome.
specific in your prayers and be specific in your requests, and don't just say help.
Chase, you got anything you want to share with the audience before?
No, this is awesome. I'm just super grateful. I'm grateful
Yeah.
for both of you. And
I feel
thank
the
y'all
same
for
way.
being so transparent and doing this. This is really awesome.
It's gonna be
It means a lot
Yeah.
to me
Yeah.
in my walk, and
Yeah.
it's really.
Well, it's therapy
really strong.
for us too. So
Yeah.
as much as I know that it does help other people, it's really, that's why anytime somebody's like, oh, I'm like, I am so down to podcast.
Yeah.
Let's talk it out. Let's talk about it, because it is it really is. It's therapy for you
Yeah.
too. So being aware, keeping your eyes open.
Look, I was one of those persons that worked so damn much that it was just not paying attention to nothing, just trying to survive. You know what I mean? And you get lost in who you are and
Yeah.
what you're here for, truly, in those aspects. You know, whenever you're just trying to survive. I guess this is it, huh, y'all? Can we do another one?
Right. We would.
Not today, not right now.
No,
But
we'll schedule. Look, because like in 6 months or 9 months or whatever, like there's life.
Yeah.
Life. Like
Yeah.
you just never know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen.